Hello, welcoming you all to another fruitful section. Myself, Iyda Jenifer D, volunteer of Civil Forensics, presenting you the Nirbhaya case, which is also called as the 2012 Delhi gang rape and the murder case. Now, let's into the case summary. So, the case summary here is the Nirbhaya case, which is also known as the 2012 Delhi gang rape and the murder case. It was one horrifying crime that has happened in the nation and has brought about the global attention to women's safety in India. So, what happened on that night on December 16, 2012 is a 23-year-old physiotherapeutic intern who is also referred to as Nirbhaya, which means fearless, was actually gang raped and was brutally assaulted on a private bus in South Delhi. She was also accompanied by a male friend who was also being attacked. Then the assailants then they beat the man, raped the woman using the metal rod, and they have inflicted several internal injuries. Then they dumped them outside. Then the victim was then taken to the hospital. Later was transferred to Singapore for the further treatment. But however, unfortunately, she passed away on December 29. This incident has triggered nationwide protests and there was intense public outrage was happening. So people was asking for the demand and to make any urgent reforms to stop this gender-based violence and to improve the women's safety. Then the government, in response to their protests, have established a Justice Verma committee to make a major legal reforms, and that led to the amendment of a criminal law act, that is 2013, where they introduced stricter punishments for any sexual offences, and also they burden the legal definitions. Apart from the definitions that we have in IPC, they have also the broader the definition. So here the six men were arrested. One was a juvenile, and he was sent to the juvenile justice board, where he was sentenced for 3 years, which is the maximum punishment that can be given for the person of a juvenile. Then after when comes under the execution, there was a sixth person where one went to the juvenile and other was he committed suicide in the custody itself, and the remaining four were convicted and they were executed on March 20, 2020. So this Nirbhaya case become like a pivotal moment in Indian history, which is promoting three aspects like legal, political, and social changes, and aimed at combating the violence against the women. So let's look into the incident. As same as said, it happened on 16, where her name is Jyoti Singh, and her male friend was returning after watching a movie at a Select City Walk, and they were taking an auto to the Monica, and then they have taken boarded a private bus around 9:30 p.m. at night, which they believed to going to the Davaka, which is other place in the southern Delhi. Six men, including the driver and the minor, was already on the board. The minor means a juvenile who is also an assailant. After collecting a small fare from the both the person, the doors of the bus were shut, and the bus have diverted the route from Davaka. When the male friend was inquiring why they are doing it, he was actually bitten by the assailants and it was rendered unconscious with the iron rod they have used. Jyoti was then brutally gang raped and assaulted with a rod. She was sustaining a several central injuries. Then after the attack, they both were thrown out by the moving bus. Then the passenger who was crossing there alerted the police, and then the victims were taken to the nearby hospital, which is Sabdajang Hospital. Then Jyoti, with the horrifying injuries and having a bite marks, then the bus was later impounded, and the crime sparked a nationwide outrage over women's safety in India. So there are some descriptions, just general description of what is the case. So when it happened, at what time, which I have mentioned. So where located and where is the crime scene? The crime scene is actually the private charter bus, which is located in Hunika, and the hospital is Sabjadang Hospital. Then they have for the further treatment, of course, Elizabeth Hospital, Singapore. The victims here is Jyoti Singh, which is known as Nirbhaya. She is a 23-year-old physiotherapy student who was actually diseased by the male friend, who is sustained with only severe injuries alone. The suspects here, there are mostly who is accused actually. The Ram Singh, who was the driver. The driver later died by suicide in the jail in March 2013. Then the Mukesh Singh, who is actually the brother of Ram Singh. Then they have Vinay Sharma, Akshay Thakur, Pavan Gupta, juvenile, who is 17 years old at the time of crime, tried separately under the Juvenile Justice Act. The investigating officer, there are so many investigating officers. The notable are Delhi Police, led by China Sharma, the DCP of Southern Delhi. Case registered and fast tracked due to police outcry. The judges involved. The judges, trial court judges Yokesh Khanna, additional session judges Saket Court, High Court Judge Justice Reva Ketrapal, among others. Supreme Court bench on that 2017, the justices were Deepak Mishra R, Bhanumati, and the Ashok Bhushan. Then we come out of evidence and the analysis. So what are the different evidences and how we analyze? First is the victim's dying declaration, which forms a major and the foremost evidences in here. So here the description, the where the victim gave multiple dying declarations to the doctors as well as the magistrates, where she was providing a clear accounts of the crime, including the sequence of events, number of attacks, and their behavior, etc. So, what was the legal weightage of this is because it was admissible under the Section 32 of an Indian Evidence Act, where a coherent and consistent statements were critical in identifying and establishing the guilt of an accused. It increased the credibility as well the consistency in getting the multiple declarations. Impact was it played a central role as the victim passed away before the trial concluded itself. Medical examination of the victim, here the description. Doctors confirmed brutal sexual assault and there is severe internal injury which is caused by using of blunt object. It was later identified to be an iron rod. Extensive we had internal trauma, bite mark signs was there, which is the first case where the bite marks was analyzed, and signs of struggles were also being noted. Analysis, it acts as a very great corroborative evidences which validated with the victim's accounts and the dying declaration that has been given. Crucial for forensics, helped to establish in what nature of assault was it. It helped to identify it was a sexual assault, supporting the charges of crime, attempt to murder, and the murder. Then comes the statement of the male companion who is act as an eyewitness to this case. This male person who was with the Nirbhaya also gave the detailed testimony what all the events happened and was able to given clues about identifying the accused person. Here the eyewitness testimony, he was actually the only surviving eyewitness. Only there was two persons, right? So he was only the eyewitness there, and his testimony also correlated with the other evidences, especially with the victim's dying declaration. This helps in the identification where the assisted police helped in creating the crime scene sketches and identifying the suspects quickly. CCTV footage. This CCTV footage played a greater role in tracking the private bus before and after the incident. Vehicle identification helped in tracing the bus board was used in the crime, and the suspect was also able to be connected with the bus, so which the suspects can also be traced. Recovery of the bus, the private bus was found where with a lot of blood stains, and there was certain things which was belonging to the victim and her friend. So, crime scene we are taking it as a mobile crime scene as we are taking it as a bus. The bus is in the movement, so it is a mobile crime scene. Physical evidences, there are so many evidences that we have collected from the bus. We'll see it later. From that, we have DNA testing. DNA can be extracted and that is given for the testing and for the forensic examination. Blood stain that is taken from the victim and the friend samples will also be matched with the samples that is recovered from the bus. Forensic and DNA evidences. So there are so many other evidence which I say. So we can see that semen samples was able to get, bloodstains was able to get, clothes of the victim and the accused, iron rod were also been collected and analyzed. So the DNA samples was able to be matched. Scientific evidence. So major evidence is DNA analysis. Conclusively, it has led to the accused to the victim. It provided a very strong and objective evidence in support of an eyewitness account. So every evidence together makes a corroborative, and therefore it increases the credibility of the evidences that is submitted, right? So DNA evidence was also pivotal, eliminating the doubt about the accused involvement. Recovery of victim's personal belongings. So what are the evidence? What are the belongings that is recovered are the victim's mobile phone, wallet, clothing were also recovered near the crime scene or from the accused. Linking accused to the crime helped connect the accused to the victim through possession of her belongings, and physical corroboration helps to match the description that is given in the victims and the companion statement. Confession statement. So finally, all those suspects who's actually the accused has confessed it after the police interrogation. So confessions to police are not admissible unless made before a magistrate. So it also made under the magistrate help police recover physical evidence, understand the sequence of events when combined with other evidences. These statements help for the coherence and narrative. Fingerprints and other trace evidences. Fingerprints is a bus matched those of accused, which includes a hair strands, fiber samples, and body fluids were also collected and analyzed. This helps to confirm the physical presence of an accused inside the breast at the time of crime. It helps to maintain the integrity in the court. Every evidence has to properly follow chain of custody, or else it will not be admissible in the court. Statement from the bus cleaner and the owner. Statement from the vehicle owner cleaner confirmed the unauthorized use of the bus. Contextual evidence proved that the bus was operated illegally by the accused, strengthening the prosecution case. So when you talk about the arrest, so here the arrest, the special investigation team was formed to investigate the case, which was led by the Pramod Kumar Kushwada, the Deputy Commissioner of Delhi Police Special Cell, where the police was found and arrested subject within 24 hours of the crime. Based on the recording from the highway CCTV A description of the bus, a white Tata bus with a name written on it, was also being broadcasted in the television. Other operators were identified as being contracted by the Delhi private school. They have praised it and found its driver too, who is actually the Ram Singh. Police obtained sketches of assailants with the help of the male victim and used a mobile phone stolen from the two victims to fight and the assailants. They were able to track down the phones. 6 men were arrested in connection with the incident. So there are so many trials. So these are the certain trials where I'll just listing you all those trials where that Pratap Pandey who was testified in the court, and then the statements was collected in the Sajjan hospital in the presence of Deputy Commissioner of Police, and then the two assistant commissioners were commissioners were suspended because of their negligence, and there was a committee on a home affairs that was met, okay, along with the secretary and the commissioner Raj Kumar in 2013. In 2nd Jan, the first fast track court for the rape case was also conducted by the Chief Justice of India, that is called Alatmas Kabir. Then Delhi police also filed the charge sheets for those rape, murder and the kidnapping by the Dayan Krishnan, who is actually a public prosecutor. Defense lawyer was appointed as Mohanlal Sharma, and Delhi police also filed separate cases for the robbery, and the prosecution was completed in its first track court. Juvenile defense, where the Mohammed Afroz is his name, where he was taken to the Juvenile Justice Board and was convicted on 31st August, sentenced to 3 years, and 20 December 2015 he was also released after the after the sentence, and he was rehabilitated with the government assistance. Adult defendants trials and sentencing on 10 September, 4 adults were convicted by the fast track court by the judge Yogesh Khanna. They were sentenced to death by the hanging by Judge Yogesh Khanna with the Collective Conscience of India. Then 30th March, Delhi High Court upheld conviction death sentence. In 5th May 2007, Supreme Court of India upheld death sentence, calling the act as a barbaric and rarest of rare. There are so many appeals on the execution. This is 15 March of 2014. SA stayed execution for Mukesh and Pawan to allow appeals. Then they rejected the appeals of the three convicts. Then Akshay's review plea was also been rejected. And the first death warrant was executed on 22 Jan. And the President of India, here they were asked for the, also they have rejected the mercy plea of Mukesh. And second death warrant was also issued on fifth. And then the legal delays lead to the insurance of two different death warrants at the 3rd and the 4th on the 3rd March and the 40th March. Then comes the execution of the convicts. So on 20th March 2030 at 5:30 am, ICD Mukesh Singh, Vinay Sharma, Akshay Thakur and Pawan Gupta, they all were executed at the Tihar jail. The gallows was used for the execution that has been specially designed for the 4 people, where 1 people has already been committed suicide. According to the prison officials, the 4 were given the meals but they were refused to take it. Then they were blindfolded and did not resist as they were led to the gulens. However, it is said that the Vinay Sharma has suffered a breakdown prior to innocent and behind pleading with the guards. The 4 convicts were pronounced dead after hanging for 30 minutes. Who the Mukesh Singh was a person, one of the assailant, has reportedly requested to donate his organs. So what are the reflections? So reflection have 3 different reflection that has happened. That is the 3 different reformations that's happened after the Nirbhaya case. That is the Nirbhaya Trust, where in December 2013, where the family of victim along with the other social entrepreneur named Sarvesh Kumar Tiwari, they has established a Nirbhaya Trust, which is actually an institute that is formed to help women who has experienced any violences and to provide them a shelter and the legal assistance. So due to the fact that Indian laws do not allow the publishing of rape victims' name, it was called as Nirbhaya. The victim's father said for this trust that so many people supported us, so we wanted to help those girls who does not have the support. Then comes the Nirbhaya Fund. It is also a dedicated fund which is given by our Indian government, thus to improve the safety and security of women in India, that has been created after this 2012 Delhi gang rape with the goal of supporting initiatives that protect women's dignity and to ensure their safety. The fund that is given, that is managed by Department of Economic Affairs, Ministry of Finance, and that is used to finance projects and any schemes that to improve the women's safety. Then have an amendment, as I said before, the criminal law amendment has taken place in 2013. With respect to this case, it is also called Nirbhaya case. The Act significantly amended the Indian Penal Code and other criminal laws to address various aspects of sexual offences, like including stalking, sexual assault, and the rape. So that's all. I hope everyone liked the video. Please be always touch with Civic Forensics so that you will get a great videos and you will always be acknowledged with a greater forensic mind. Thank you.